Hey everyone, happy Thursday. Today I'm going to take you through a kettlebell interval workout. If you don't have a kettlebell, don't worry, you can always use one dumbbell, or you can go ahead and grab your laundry detergent. That's a perfect option. Looks just like a kettlebell, you can use it just like a kettlebell. So there's lots of options here if you don't have one at home. So before I get into the actual workout today, I did want to go over a real quick kettlebell form. Its shape is designed to throw off your center of gravity, so it's a great functional tool to kind of help with overall core work. You're going to be working a lot of muscle groups at once while using a kettlebell. So just before we get into it, I wanted to go proper ways to pick it up, put it down, how it should be when you hold it, things to keep in mind in terms of your grip and everything else. So one of the most popular exercises, and one that we'll be doing in the workout, is the kettlebell swing. And so you always want to set it a little bit away from you. Make sure I'm in the frame. So from here, your feet are about hip distance apart. You're going to hinge from the hips, abs pulling in, and then you're going to reach for it. So as you come up into that swing, you're safely picking it up. You're in that stance that you need to be in for the whole workout. And then just to put it down, swing, hold here. So your core is helping you pick it up and put it down. The next thing is how your wrist should be aligned while you're holding it either at your chest or overhead. It's the same thing. The things to keep in mind are, so when you pick it up, it's real quick. You swing it over. So in these movements, you want to be quick to come flip over the kettlebell. So while you're in this racked position, we're going to be here in some of the exercises. So as you can see, my wrist is straight, my knuckles are up, and that kettlebell is on the back side of my wrist. So keep in mind, if you do have a Fitbit, smartwatch, jewelry, I take off the jewelry, and if you have one of those watches, I would rotate the watch so the face of the watch is on the inside of your wrist. So this is the rack position. It's at my chest, my core's tight, my elbow's slightly out, and everything is straight. The way my wrist is and grip and knuckles is going to be the same thing when I press it overhead. Whenever the kettlebell's over your head, kettlebell is right over the shoulder, elbow slightly bent, and again, my wrist is still straight, knuckles are still up, and before putting it down, always bring it to that racked position at your chest, and then bringing it down here. Again, you'll want to keep in mind the same techniques, whether you're using a dumbbell or a kettlebell, but these are especially important to keep in mind just because of the shape of the kettlebell, and the point of it is to move it around. So those are some tips to keep in mind while using the kettlebell. But going right into the workout, we have 5 exercises. You're going to go through each one at a time, each exercise, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest, 4 times, and before you move on to the next exercise, you can take a break for 1 to 2 minutes. Use 45 seconds, 4 times. You do want to exert about 80 to 85% of your max effort. So high work effort here. So the first one is going to be that kettlebell swing. So again, it's a couple feet away from you, hinge from the hips, pick it up safely. You're going to hike it up to your hips first, and then as you use your hips to power it up, you're just going to bring it to chest level. And the purpose of the kettlebell swing, you never want to squat and swing up. It's a tip forward and press the hips forward. Hips back and press forward. This is all glutes and hamstring work. So you want to think about hips and crown of your forehead going in separate directions, not lowering the body and coming up. So think of more of a deadlift instead of a squat in this movement. So hiking it up to your hips, powering up. You're always looking forward. You never want to go down. Your gaze is always forward, your chest is always open, keeping the kettlebell close to your hips. Gravity brings it down, hips power it up. And then to safely put it down, right back where it started. The second exercise is going to be a deadlift to a clean to a squat. And the squat is going to be more of a narrow stance, so your feet are going to stay here for where you are in that deadlift. So take whatever weight you have, put it just right in front of your toes. Feet are a little closer together, so right under the hips. You're gonna, actually you can bring it more between your feet if you have the kettlebell or the laundry detergent. Oops. Hey, Winston. So going into that deadlift, you're coming up to stand, high row the weight up, catch it this way, so holding it here, and then coming into that squat. So facing you guys, going into that deadlift, bring it up, catch, and lower the hips down. So to speed it up a little bit, it's a deadlift, clean, squat. Deadlift, clean, squat. So hips are going back on that deadlift, and then they lower into that squat here. And then set it down safely. The third exercise is a snatch to a reverse lunge. So I'm going to try and get in the frame here so you can see me. A snatch, you're going to take the weight, you're going to start here, and you're essentially going to bring it up overhead. So you want to keep the weight as close to your body as you can. You're using your legs to jolt up and then bring it back down. So you want to imagine you're taking your shirt to peel it up overhead. So once you have that weight overhead, again, keeping the wrist straight, knuckles up. If the kettlebell's in your right hand, you're going to take that left leg back into that reverse lunge. And so since we've got two sides for this exercise, we have 4 rounds. 2 rounds, kettlebell in the right hand, left leg going back into that reverse lunge. The other 2, kettlebell in the left hand, right leg going back. Excuse me. Woo. Excuse me. All right, so I'm gonna face this way so you guys can see me. So the snatch, so starting with the kettlebell at your hips, kind of do like a micro squat, and then peel the weight up overhead, left knee back, keeping it close. The kettlebell is close to your body on the way down and up, and then bring it down safely. You can alternate or do your first 2 rounds on one side, the last 2 on the other, or alternate. The fourth exercise is a squat to a single arm press. So just like the one before with the 4 rounds, you can alternate or do 2 in a row and then switch sides. So you're going to come into that racked position, wrist straight, knuckles up, elbow out to the side. Feet are hip distance apart, toes out. You're going to sink the hips down on the way up, press the weight up overhead, down and up. The key here, when you go into that squat, keep that elbow out. Lower, press, lower, press. This arm that doesn't have anything can always go out for support or keep it in. To switch sides, just clean it down. Come up, other side, squat, press, squat, press. Safely put it down to rest. Again, you'll alternate or do the right side first and the left. It's up to you. The last one is a side lunge to a clean. So you're going to start in that racked position. You're going to take one foot out, toes are forward, sink into that hip, and then come up. Adding in that clean. Kettlebell goes to the foot. As you power up, clean. Sink into that hip. Use that foot to power up. If anything, if the clean is too much, just sink. Either hold here, abs pull in, or just bring that kettlebell to the foot and come up. So those are the 5 exercises. Again, if you need any help with modifications, grab a dumbbell, grab your laundry detergent. If the kettlebell is too much, always reach out to me or Luke or Cody or Tracy if you have any questions. But I hope you enjoy the workout.